Hi, I'm Ian Moore. I'm the defenseman for the Chicago Steel out of the USHL from Concord, Massachusetts.
All right. So my first question is, growing up in the Boston area, who are some of the people that helped you get to the level that you are at today at hockey?
Yeah, I was pretty fortunate to play on a great team growing up. 2001 Minuteman Flames. So a couple guys that I know you've talked to already, but a couple guys that a lot of people know: Sean Farrell, Patrick Moynihan, Braden Doyle, Henry Thrun. Like a lot of great players on that team, and we were pretty fortunate to play together for 8 or 9 years, I think it was, like all together. So we're all great buddies, like we were back at the time, and we still are today. A couple of us like still playing together or playing against each other in the same league. So it's pretty cool to see, guys that you grew up playing with, some of your best friends, like you continue to play, even though we're in the Midwest. We're not, I'm in the USHL, but I'm playing with Sean Farrell. I'm playing against Braden Doyle. Like it's pretty cool how that works out. But yeah, I was fortunate. Some great coaches like Coach Tom Connors, Coach Thrun. My dad was one of the coaches. He was the head coach, so he'll still coach me on the couch and stuff like that when we're watching hockey at night, watching like the Sabres, his favorite team. But yeah, I mean, I was pretty fortunate to grow up in such a good area. My brother played for the older team, so we were always at the rink together, just hanging out at the rink, pretty much, you know, 6, 7 days a week, just at that Marlboro New England Sports Center rink.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's kind of like the same thing with my high school. I go to St. Peter's Prep, and Zach Aston Reese and Kyle Palmieri went to my high school.
Al Palmieri, I got him on fantasy too.
Oh wow, yeah, he's really good for the Devils, but the Devils aren't good for him, which is honestly fair.
They're fun to watch though. They got a lot of young talent. They're
My Latin teacher, who was actually the old varsity hockey coach,
Mhm.
uh, said that Zach Aston Reese came here for like a month. Came to my school for like a month. And then when I said like, wow, I didn't know that. He's like, why is that like special?
Didn't
He's
know.
I'm like, because he's an NHL, but and then he said he's not that good, which was really surprising because he made it to the NHL.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Max, what's your first question?
Yeah. What would you consider your greatest strength that separates you from other defensemen?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think there are obviously like a ton of good defensemen out there, a ton that we play against in all levels that I watch and learn from each day. But I think one of my stronger parts of my game is my skating, just like ability to, I guess, speed like through the neutral zone. So transitioning from defense to offense helps a lot, but also skating in the defensive zone, like closing on guys, being quick to not giving them time and space, keeping up with them, and really shutting guys down with my feet. And then you pair that with a good stick, which is something I've been working on, like my stick positioning, stick detail, which is huge as you go up and guys just get more skilled. That your stick is sort of an extension of your body, and it's what you're going to take the puck away from or with from the guy most times. So working on stick detail and pairing that with my feet is something that I've been working on here with Chicago, and it's a main focus, I guess, each day in practice for us. So that's really ultimately, I think, right now I've grown up skating with my skating coach, Dina Taylor. She's been awesome. I skate, some of my work on every year. So yeah, I mean, I'd say that's probably the strongest part of my game right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the young guys in the league right now, like Hughes and McCarr, like their skating is like exceptional compared to some of the older guys.
Yeah, exactly. And you see like a guy like McDavid, obviously like one of the best, like maybe the best player in the league right now. He's, when you think of his McDavid, you just think of his speed, his skating, his ability to just go right around guys. Like everyone's like that. Even Crosby, like he might not be the fastest guy anymore, but the way he's able to cut and be strong on his skates and everything has to do with his skating and how he's such a great skater. And then off of that, it comes into like his hockey sense and his playmaking ability. But yeah, all the top guys in the league, they're all great skaters.
Yeah, I mean, and also when you said like the stick is like an extension of your body, that's the same thing when you're a goalie. Max and I are both goalies, and we've been like taught the same way. to like stick positioning is like the most important thing as a goalie because
Yeah.
that was the most embarrassing goal to let in.
5-hole. It's tough to score though. I can't score 5-hole.
It's it's really hard to like your stick positioning if especially if you're a young goalie, you might get lazy and move your stick around way too much.
Yeah.
I sometimes do that towards the end of practice with my club team because I'm just bored and I'm having some fun. Um, yeah, but the 5-hole is like the most important part, and I've always been taught to like uh, keep my make sure that my stick and my gloves are extensions of my body. Yeah. And in high school, how was the competition level across your league as you were well over a point a game this past season and in the previous one?
Yeah, there's some great players in the ISL is what's called the Independent School League, playing prep. So we play a lot of good teams. Like each game, there's not many games in the season, only about 30. So each game really matters like a ton. So can't take any teams for granted, and every team knows that. Every different school knows that. So each game is going to be a battle. There's not a ton of blowouts, so every game's pretty close. It's fun though. I mean, you're playing for your school and you're playing with like you go to the game and all the fans, I guess, that are at the game are all kids you're in math class with or science class. So it's definitely like pretty cool to play for your school and play for like I guess everyone that you're around all day, and a lot of your best friends come to the games that don't play hockey, and all your best friends are on the team pretty much. So it's a cool atmosphere. And each game's competitive. Like I said, like a lot of good players come from prep, like Rathbone, Jay O'Brien, uh, Riley Walsh. I mean, the list goes on. Like all these guys played prep, and now they're doing great things. Like a couple of them signed pro, and some in college, like a ton of college guys. So definitely great competition in prep, and was a lot of fun playing there.
Yeah, I mean, I also play prep high school hockey. I'm not on varsity yet, just as a freshman. We have way too many goalies, and I'm still on JV. But my varsity team, we're in like the top New Jersey conference. Uh, I'm pretty sure you haven't heard of these schools, but we play schools like Christian Brothers Academy, and Don Bosco. Christian Brothers, you might know the Van Riemsdyk brothers came from there.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of Don Bosco too.
Yeah, Don Bosco, they're okay.
Yeah, do you guys play like Del Barton?
Oh yeah, we played Del Barton.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends. We billeted Drew O'Connor, who went there I think for a year.
Oh yeah, my Latin teacher was, or yeah, my Latin teacher was always saying Del Barton is extremely good. Like
Yeah,
everyone like D1 commits, and our varsity team against like the top schools like CBA. To be honest, they're not terribly good. They lost like 8-1 and 10-0 to Bosco on senior night, which was like it was really depressing. Not just because they lost 10-0, but also because 5 of the seniors at Bosco committed to D1 schools, which was like it was fun to hear.
yeah, yeah. No, there's some great competition all out in the East, but everywhere nowadays, like every single state is just hockey's booming. Like you get guys from Arizona, Texas that are just
Yeah.
out of nowhere. So pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, my school's definitely going to be better next year. We have a lot of good guys coming up, so I think we'll be good next year.
Good luck in trying out for the team.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. My next question is there anything special behind the numbers you've used, like number 2 and 3?
I was always number 17 growing up. I'm not really sure why. Our mailbox number was 71, and I just kind of switched those around and found 17. I guess maybe Milan Lucic growing up. I'm honestly not sure. I picked it when I was like 5 or 6 years old, so it could have been anything. And then I switched it to come during prep school, and Henry Thrun, who you guys probably heard of him, another drafted by the Ducks and at Harvard now, played on the World Junior team that just won gold. So pretty good player to say the least. And he was number 2 at St. Mark's. He left the year I was coming in, so I wasn't able to play with him at St. Mark's, but I grew up playing with him. He was one of my best friends, still is, I guess, to this day. And he was number 2, so I guess, it was one of the numbers. Like in high school, you guys know probably, like most guys will keep their numbers. Like if you're a senior, you'll keep your number all the way from a freshman to senior. So there's not a ton of numbers there left. So 2 was one of them, and I just kind of took it. And then, yeah, just sticking with the same thing, I guess. Not too many numbers, like I guess out here. So something kind of like a low number for a defenseman, I guess, is usually typical. So yeah, I don't know, not really anything too special for the reason why I chose him. Just kind of, whatever number I guess is fine by me as long as, playing the game. So
yeah, it's a cool number though.
Yeah, I like it. Like nice and simple for a defenseman.
Yeah, I mean, I have the common goalie number. I'm 30 on my at least on my club team. I'm not sure for my high school team. I haven't gotten my jersey yet.
What about you, Max? What number are you?
I'm 40 for Tuukka Rask.
Oh, Tuukka.
Yeah.
I'm 30 for Hank.
Favorite? Are those your favorite players?
Yeah, he's by my favorite player.
Yeah, him and Price.
Tough that Lundqvist couldn't play this year. Hopefully he'll be back.
Yeah, I know. It was so sad to see him on Instagram do that post where he's like, I can't play. I have the heart condition, but I heard the surgery went well though.
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good. And when did you realize that you had a chance to be drafted in 2020 in the NHL draft?
Yeah, it's kind of so. Yeah, coming from prep, I mean, I played at St. Mark's, a small school, only about 300, 400 kids, so not a ton of, I guess not a large school that may not be recognized, not like a Kimball Union Academy or Salisbury. You guys might have heard of some bigger prep schools that really pump out these players. And so St. Mark's, yeah, I mean, like I spoke of Sean Farrell, Henry Thrun, like Zach Stakos, Peter Sakos. They had some great players there, and that's a credit to Scott Young, the former coach there, and Carl Corzini, the coach there now. Both great coaches and great people who were able to recruit some great players. So even though it's a small school, like St. Mark's has had a great run in the past, 5 to 7 years of getting good players. So my freshman year, like I got hurt. I broke my elbow. I played like 15 games maybe, but just, wasn't really comfortable, I guess, that year. I was, I started out, played maybe 8 games, then broke my elbow, came back, played maybe 7 games at the end of the season. So it was kind of a tough year. And if you get hurt in the prep season, like you don't play a ton of games, so you're at risk of missing a large part of the season. And so my sophomore year, I was playing with my brother. My brother was a senior at that point, and I was a sophomore, so we were on the same D pair. Started off good, and just our group really came together. We had a great year in terms of like setting out kind of. I mean, we were hoping to do more in the playoffs, but came up a little bit short. But yeah, personally, I had a good year, and then just continued that in my junior year, and never really focused on the draft or getting drafted. Just kind of focused on getting better each day. Doing all the things that you can control. Like you can't control, I guess, if you're going to get drafted. You can only control like how you play, how your attitude, your effort, like just things that you yourself can focus on. So that's what I did each day. And pretty fortunate, I guess, to hear my name called or on TV, come the draft, and fortunate to be selected by the Ducks.
Yeah, that was really cool that when I learned that you were drafted by the Ducks, and in the third round. Like the third round is really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, the third round still is like extremely good players, and yeah, that was like really cool. And especially because I talked to your media manager before we interviewed Sean Farrell, and he said we've like 3 guys that you can interview like based on availability. We have. He mentioned you, he mentioned Sean Farrell, and then he mentioned Joe Miller.
Yeah, Millsy.
Yeah. And then I listed like when I'm available, and he said Sean Farrell's available. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then I have like and then I met like a friend of yours who offered to help me out, getting you like to be on our channel. And that was like really cool.
Yeah.
And I still
Thanks
go
for
to
having me. It's fun. I like talking hockey.
Oh yeah, it's so fun to talk hockey. Uh, that's basically why we just started this channel anyway.
Yeah. And speaking of your draft, you even went a couple of picks higher than Marshawn, which is pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
All right, yeah. My next question is, what emotions were you feeling when you scored your first USHL goal?
Yeah, that was pretty. I guess yeah, it's pretty overwhelming. Like I had it's fun being. It's a jump, I guess, from prep to USHL. You're playing against like everyone's skilled and fast, and it's just like the game's a lot faster and a lot quicker. So it took me some games to settle in, and scoring that first goal was huge in Muskegon. It was a big goal for us. Like Muskegon's a good team, so that was important during the game. But just personally, it gave me a boost of confidence. Just kind of getting back. Like I was having I felt like I was playing pretty well, and just to finally get rewarded, I guess, with a goal is like I said, pretty overwhelming. My teammates were so happy for me and everything, so it's cool to see. And then like I said, just anytime you can help your team, and especially in a moment like that when we needed one, was pretty crucial, and something I'll definitely never forget.
Yeah, that's always cool because like the USHL is a really good league. A lot of good players have come from it, so it's really good to have like your first goal. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And speaking of the steal, how does it feel to play with Matt Coronado and Sean Farrell, the top scorers in the USHL?
Yeah, it's pretty easy playing with those guys. They're just kind of get them the puck and let them and then get open, I guess. They'll find you. So you don't have to do a ton of thinking, I guess, when you're out there. Just kind of read off what they're doing. They're going to make some great plays. Like, they're great players, but not just those two. I mean, up and down our lineup, like, everyone's making plays. Everyone's all playing kind of the same way. We're a puck possession team, which is fun. So we don't dump it in too much, and we're not chasing the game too much. We try and control the game and control the puck, which is it's really fun to play on. So yeah, I mean, those two guys, obviously exceptional players. Like, Sean had a hat trick yesterday, and Nato, like, he scores like every game. So they're pretty exceptional players to play with, and just to be around. I guess you see their habits, like when they're working out, during a skills session, like everything, their diet, like everything these guys they do is just something you can learn from, and that's the whole team. Like, all these guys have different parts that they add, and we just learn off of each other, and it's a great environment to be in out here in Chicago.
Yeah, that's really cool. And also, I saw, I think it was like 2 games ago, Matt Coronado had a like absolute snipe against Muskegon, and the announcer called him like the Bison. You know why he's called that?
I'm not sure why. I think he's kind of like, I mean, he's really fast, and he can just go right through guys, around guys. So I'm not sure how he came up with it, to be honest, but we call him that. We give him a little bit for that. So it's funny. Like, we call him the Bison around and stuff like that. The announcer makes some Bison noises sometimes, which are pretty funny too. But, yeah. And then, so yeah, I'm not sure why he calls him that, to be honest, but fits him well for sure.
Yes, someone on Twitter posted like as a comment to one of the Steel posts of that Coronado goal. Someone just posted a picture of a Bison.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. He's such a good player. He deserves a nickname like that, the Bison.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that can carry on to the NHL. He was ranked 30th. He was ranked to go 30th.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it'll be hopefully a lot of steel going to be picked this year. I think.
I think
Samus,
right.
like Coronado, Ufco, like a bunch of great players in the Steel organization that are all eligible for this year's draft.
Yeah, you have another guy who's supposed to go in the second round, I think.
Yeah, Ufco, Bar. I mean, I may be forgetting some guys, but we got a ton of talent on the team, and it just shows, like, I guess, that's when you really see how much talent you have. But like each day you're practicing with these guys and you're out there, you're working out with them. And it's just such a competitive environment that it makes everyone better. So it's really fun to be a part of.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. My next question is, if you could give any tips to a young defenseman, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say just don't, like, if they're worried about you'll see guys like get committed or maybe even get drafted, and you might get a little frustrated and say like, oh, it's not cut out for me. But it's really like it's a long process. Like college is so far away for most guys. Once those kids are getting committed, like when they're 9th grade, 10th grade, a lot of great players committed then. But there's also great players that are committed like in juniors and 1 year away from college, not just 5 years away. So like you can get drafted too, or you can make it through being undrafted. Like there's a ton of different paths and not getting caught up. So I guess it wouldn't be just for defensemen, but for all players, like not getting caught up in everything and all the emotions, and focusing on like the long-term goal of either playing in college or playing junior, or playing on your high school team or whatever your goal may be. Just don't get focused in like what other people's routes are to get there, but what your own route might be, and talk to your friends and your family and see what that route is for you.
Yeah, I mean, I look at like all my friends who are goalies like on my high school team, and they play like AA, and I think one of them even plays AAA. And like I'm still stuck playing like B, and like I mean, granted we're undefeated, and we're first in our league, but like it's just it feels like there's like no purpose anymore in playing or in B. Like I love playing high school hockey; it's amazing. But it's just like it starts getting too easy when you get 6 shots against and you just save them all because they're from the outside, and then you call that a shutout, and you don't sweat and you don't work for anything, and it's it just feels bad. But then and then like I go to high school practice, and then I go to high school hockey, and then I realize I have skill against actual good players. And it makes me feel a lot better, and that I can actually play in college.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a ton of different paths. You're so young now. Like you mentioned, you're just a freshman. Like there's a ton of different paths. Like my brother, for example, he was on the JV team as a freshman, like a little bit back and forth with the varsity, but didn't play much. Like he was JV, and then sophomore year, same thing, didn't play much. He was on varsity, but didn't play too much. And then grew sophomore to junior, started working out a lot, like trained hard and had a great summer. And then he was like our one of our best defensemen, like maybe our best defenseman his junior year and senior year. And then now he's playing at Middlebury College. So everyone's route's different. Like me personally, I wasn't really noticed until my sophomore year. I was just kind of, out there, I guess, growing up, just to kind of, I wasn't doing anything too special or anything really noticeable. And you'll have like as long as you just keep your head down and keep working, like it'll come. You just got to trust it.
Yeah. My last question is, when did you commit to Harvard, and what majors are you considering when you go there?
Yeah. I committed to Harvard, I think a little over a year ago. And obviously a ton of talent there. The coaching staff's amazing and a great school. So it should be fun, like to stay a little local, stay closer to home. And it's only about like a half hour from my house, which is pretty cool. And so, yeah, I'll be able to see my family and also play with some of my friends that I grew up playing with who are there, like Sean Farrell, Henry Thrun, guys like that. So yeah, it'll be pretty fun to play there, but yeah, obviously a great school and very interested in like the different programs they have. So just started investing or trying to invest in the stock market and trying to figure that out. So maybe something along like those lines, like like economics, something like that might help me with this. I'm pretty interested in it. My dad's works at Cisco Systems, so he's also like into stocks and technology, and my brother too, who's helped me a lot with investing, is pretty into it. So right now that's one of my interests, but like who knows, it could change. I'm open to taking a bunch of different classes to really figure out what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. We've also interviewed a guy. He's going to be a sophomore at Harvard. He was also on the Steel. He left before you came.
Who's
yeah.
that? Is that Aberzizi?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a
Yeah.
pretty good player.
He's fourth round pick of the Leafs. He's supposedly really good. And
he's unbelievable. He's so good.
Yeah. He was like the leading scorer in the USHL in his draft plus 1 year, which was actually his draft year because that's when he got drafted.
Unbelievable player. I mean, I went to some Harvard games last year, and you just see like the talent, the skill. Like I think he was over a point a game at Harvard last year, and to do that as first year, and it's just pretty remarkable for a player to do that. So super skilled and fun to watch on YouTube or in person in college. Should have definitely would be someone that'd be fun to play with. So hopefully that'll happen.
Yeah. Also, Matt Coronado, he's also going to Harvard. I think at the same time as you. So that's going to be a really fun roster in a year.
Yeah. It's fun playing with those guys. Playing, I guess, even more fun playing against them is playing with them. So you get in practice, you get to play against them, and then you look forward to the weekend, the games where you get to play with them finally. So you're not battling them in the corner, but you're catching a pass from them instead. So
yeah, that's really cool. So Max, what's your last question?
Yeah, I got 2 more questions. What's your favorite type of goal to score?
Type of goal to score? Personally, I like scoring one-timers. Like, I know it's hard for a goalie to save. You guys can probably speak on that. Like, puck comes across pretty quick, and like in prep, I scored a lot of one-timer goals. There's something like my dad was like probably 5 years ago, was just noticing that all NHL goals are one-timers and quick handles. So started working on that, like I said, 4 years ago, and was able to like execute it, I guess, in prep a lot, and something like we work on a lot at Chicago, and probably most teams do, is just one-timers because it's so hard for a goalie. So that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, you look at guys like Shea Weber, and they like make a living on the power play and their shot, like all of his points, and probably like half of the Canadians' points in the postseason last year were because of his shot.
Yeah. It's so important to just, it doesn't have to be too hard. It just has to be quick and get through. And that's sort of like the way the game's going. And if you can have a hard shot too, then it just makes it that much better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a goalie's like worst nightmare is across the crease, and it's a one-timer, so it's fast. Mm-hmm. And if it's accurate, it's probably going to go in the net unless we can get across.
Yeah.
In time. So, that's basically like a goalie's worst nightmare is either cross crease, backdoor, or cross circles for a one-timer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any more questions. Max, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I got one more. What was your most memorable game so far in your career?
I think my most memorable was we beat the London Knights in the finals of the Pee Wee Quebec, or not the Pee Wee Quebec tournament, of the Silver Stakes tournament up in Whitby, Ontario, with the Flames team I grew up playing for, and it was just pretty cool. We were an American team, and we grew up not checking, and we played against a Canadian checking team, and it was pretty cool to beat those guys in the finals.
Yeah, I was wondering London Knights because that's an OHL team. So I was wondering if the USHL ever played like an exhibition game or something.
But no, it was the London Junior Knights, I think.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Was that like Banner?
What's that?
Was that like 16U, 14U?
That was probably when we were like 10 or 12, or probably 12. Oh. So it was a while ago. Yeah. But it was pretty cool to beat like a team that had been checking growing up, and then we weren't, we'd never been hitting, and then, to beat those guys was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I've been up to Canada before to play to play in a tournament up in Montreal. So I got this hoodie. Yeah, we played some really good teams. From
Yeah. I mean, you think about Canada and like the draft and stuff, they're just unbelievable talent up there.
and the World Junior team this year was stacked.
Yeah, they had crazy number of like first round picks and stuff like that. They were
Had so many first round picks, but I mean, the USA was better. So yeah, I played a team from Ottawa, a team from Toronto, and a team from like the middle of the country in Ontario. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, where like we talked to them a little bit, and they said that they basically have like rinks outside of their houses, and they just go every single day and just practice outdoors on their ODRs.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, lucky them. They beat us. I think it was like 8-0 or something. They were really good.
Yeah, super skilled. They all good hockey sense and stuff like that. They all play together. It's pretty fun to watch the Canadians play.
Yeah, I know. So that was my last question. Max, do you have any more questions?
No, those are all mine.
All right. Thanks so much for allowing us to interview you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a ton of fun. Looking forward to hopefully you guys have good hockey season this year and in the future. So
Thanks.
So yeah,
Good
thank
luck
you.
with Harvard.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks. Take care, guys.
Bye.